The question is it really necessary to speak fluently in English when you're a mass comm student? Well, the answer is... Hi, I'm Jason. I'm studying Bachelor of Arts in Communication, major in Media in St. Teresa's College of Cebu. Now, in my first year of college, I can say that's quite great and definitely a memorable one. However, before I entered college, there are a few questions that kept running my mind. Questions like, what are the things that I should do? What are the things that I should refrain from doing? And a bunch of questions that are similar to that. Now for today's video, it is my pleasure to give out tips to incoming mass communication students, and hopefully these tips will help you in some sort of way as you enter college. But before anything else, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel because why not? Just a disclaimer, these tips are just the things that I noticed and learned all throughout my first year in college and not something that I researched for. Alright, now let's begin with our tips. First tip that you need to keep in mind is to not be intimidated by your classmates. It is no secret that there will be people who are better than us, who knows how to perform better, who has a lot of confidence, who knows how to use extravagant and sophisticated words, and in that case, we tend to compare ourselves to them. Our confidence slowly lessens and we become shy. Sometimes we even overthink things, and it just complicates things even more. Just remember that along the way, you will be learning new things that will help you enhance your skills, whether it may be in writing or communicating or a bunch of other stuff. Although there will be people who will use that intimidation as a motivation to push them to their limits. And it's okay, as long as you won't change into a person who is far from who you really are. And with that, this brings to my next tip, and it is to be yourself. As cliche as it may sound, be yourself. There's this quote that I made back in 10th grade, and it says, "Don't be ashamed for who you are, but be ashamed of the person you're forcing yourself to be." I try to remember this quote whenever I compare myself to other people or I change my personality, and it is not something for the better. We are all different. Some people may do this, some people may do that. You may do this that other people don't usually do, and it's okay because you are different. When you be yourself, it shows your personality and how genuine you are in doing the things that you love to do. When you be yourself, it shows passion in the things that you love and when you perform, and it will be reflected in your performance. Alright, next tip is to practice your communication skills. From the way you pronounce and enunciate words, to know when to stop and breathe whenever you see a comma or a period, know when to emphasize the keywords, and always make sure to glance once in a while to your audience while you communicate is something to be practiced. Even if you already master those things, always make sure to practice once in a while just to make sure you're still good at it or whatsoever. However, if you're not really that good in that particular thing, there's this great advice that my favorite YouTuber, Christian, or otherwise known as Floss LeBlanc, he said that in order for you to practice your communication skills, you must record yourself as you communicate. Then, take note of the things that you want to improve and the things that you want to refrain from doing. Do that the next day and the following days until you will arrive to the day that you'll be contented with how you speak. Next tip, practice public speaking. It is no secret that there are individuals who feel anxious whenever they are tasked to speak publicly. The tension in the air can be clearly seen as this person will most likely stutter, fail to make eye contact with his or her audience, and just completely stares at the ground, at his notes or his report or whatsoever. Also, the message that this person wants to transmit will be far from heard because this person will most likely eat his or her own words. As a mass comm student, we are exposed to various activities that requires us to speak in a crowd of people. And if you're really not that good in that particular field, a great advice that I can give you is to practice speaking publicly in a crowd that you feel comfortable in. Then the next day, try to mix it up a little bit by adding a few members that you may or may not know, or even practice in a public space or in a public area, which definitely will test your confidence. Alright, there's this question that I frequently receive, and it's quite interesting. The question is it really necessary to speak fluently in English when you're a mass comm student? Well, the answer is no. No, 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 no. I myself am not that fluent in English. There are several times, or better yet, there are plenty of times when I have grammatical errors or I will pronounce the words which are far from correct. And it is nothing to be ashamed of because you are still learning. In our class, we are required to speak a specific language in a certain activity, just like in our broadcasting or in our radio production. And sometimes we are required to speak, like in our case, Bisaya. We are even encouraged to speak Bisaya to practice ourselves for future activities or future competitions that requires us to speak that kind of language. Although it is not necessary to speak fluently in English, still try to practice it once in a while, because there are plenty of activities in which the English language is required, like in our writing and just basically activities that requires us to speak up. So yeah, keep in mind it's not necessary to speak fluently in English when you're a Mass Comm student. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope these 5 tips will help you in some sort of way as you enter college. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down any thoughts, suggestions, questions may or may not be related to mass communication. And make sure to subscribe to my channel, because a vlog with Jason is a vlog full of creation filled with imagination. Bye guys, see you next time!